What do you think the galactic races out there look at us and admire about us, our biological technology? What is it about humans that make humans specials that they can't do?
They talk about that in a tablet called The Myth of Adapa, what you just talked about.
Mhm.
And in The Myth of Adapa, ADAPA, which is Adam, they talk about the fact that when they analyze Adam, that Adam was created far more superior than most beings in the universe.
Mm.
And that inside of Adam's body, it was encoded with all the knowledge that ever exists. And that once he tapped into that, meaning generations down the line, that his line, his bloodline, could become one of the most highest revered, strongest, and most powerful mentally bloodlines that would ever exist. That we were to be even higher than these Anunnaki beings themselves. And that all the knowledge was encoded into our DNA, which is why some of our DNA was disconnected on purpose, and we call it junk DNA. Scientists just recently, in the last couple of years, have discovered that the junk DNA is no longer junk, that it has a purpose. And then some other scientists, one named George Smith, discovered that the DNA stores data in the volume, and that one human body can store 13.5 billion years of data. And I mean data, like on a computer data. So now all of a sudden we're finding out that we're walking around with the history and the mystery of the universe inside our bodies.
So wow. So that these entities, they don't have that encoded within them? All this potential that we have encoded within us?
They were so amazed by it. And so some of them were really pissed off about it, that they wanted to battle each other they wanted to battle one particular guy, Enki, for adding the ability for us to evolve in that way, that it caused a war within their own group. So it must be that there's some limitation to how far they can go. And they were already super advanced. So imagine what we can do, what we can become. What they had to use a combination of spirituality, consciousness, and technology, we can probably evolve just purely with consciousness without even using or needing the technology. But we've become so reliant on technology. Now it's a crutch for us.
So Billy, we the shit for real then, huh? We popping like, wow, we popping. Because a lot of people, the Anunnaki, we popping. They looking at us,
we're the ones.
They looking at us like, no, y'all popping. Well, that's dope, man. That's dope, man. That's a good way to it's good to know that, instill that confidence in us, to let us know who we are. That's some real shit. To have the whole galaxy looking at you like, wow, y'all got it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a fact. So when we don't understand something, what part of our body understand? Is it our DNA? Because the DNA already knows this stuff, right? Or what is it?
The DNA knows everything. We found out that the DNA can send and receive information wirelessly. And I mean this literally. George Church, he took the data, he took an ebook that he created, he made 80 billion copies of this ebook on 1 gram of DNA.
1 gram.
Okay. An ebook on 1 gram of DNA with pages that turn and read and images and everything. And he was able to take the A's, T's, and G's and coordinate that with the database. So he took the ebook, which was zeros and ones, and then he converted zeros and ones into A's, T's, and G's, which is your DNA. And then he got that to a read-write. So he wrote that directly onto the DNA. And then he accessed the server. He accessed the DNA, and he was able to back convert the A's, T's, and G's back to zeros and ones and put it back on the server again. So then later on, other scientists came and said, wow, let's see if we can send data wirelessly into DNA. They transmitted data into the DNA wirelessly and then took it back out again. Now let's look at that another way. We are walking receivers and senders of data. We are walking Wi-Fi's.
Right.
We can send and receive information through DNA everywhere we go, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that means we're always getting signals and information, and we're always sending signals and information without us even being aware of it.
Let me ask you this, Billy. What does you travel the world so much. Does the ancient texts talk anything about music? Like music, like what kind of music were they into? The Palladi, like, do they talk about psalm music at all in any of these texts?
The only time I've seen accounts of music in ancient texts always has to do with drums and string instruments. So string instruments and drums primarily are the two featured instruments that you can find. And I haven't said specifically, let me go find all the instruments, but those are the two that stand out the most.